Hi, I'm Christina for all of you who haven't met me yet, and welcome back, everyone else. I know that I've been absent for a while, but I honestly have not been feeling good, and I just can't shake it. I see that some prayers have gone out for me, and that's probably why I have any energy at all today. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and God bless you. God bless you, Paul and Adrian, also. And in the meantime, while I've been feeling so fatigued, like beyond tired all the time, and I mean, the times have been, you could deal with them because we had the bands of that tropical storm come in. We didn't, where I'm at, the North Houston side, we just got like some outer bands of rain, a couple of big gusts of wind, but nothing here, particularly from the storm. However, a couple of days prior to that storm hitting, there was a little tiny rainstorm, no real big wind, but a big tree fell over on the power lines from a light storm, no rain, and like 650 customers were out of power, including myself. So that happened before, but as far as the storm, but a lot of people did like Corpus Christi, okay, and I can't remember the name of that other place, but a lot of people did get really flooded, really bad. But that's not all that's been going on in the news, and plus they're saying that they've got more storms, more things developing in the Atlantic and in the Caribbean and just everywhere, and where it's bringing a lot of rain. Even if it's like you're in a drought area, if you get too much, then it doesn't really do any good. It's like basically rolling off of concrete because the dry ground is too dry. Hello, sunshine. Yes, the fatigue is real. I've been suffering chest pains out of this world. Waking up with my lips numb, chin numb, and I just I get like breathless in short distances. But it's the heat makes it way worse. Right now it's doable. Right now it is. Hello, Belinda. God bless you. All right. So y'all ready to really get into this because I am. These are signs in the last days, and the biblical signs is if you wanted to look it up, it's the best to go to Matthew chapter 24 and also the first four horsemen of the apocalypse, and I'm pretty sure that's Revelation 6, around there. Okay, those would be responsible for what we call birth pangs here in the last days. And birth pangs consist of earthquakes, floods, signs in the sky like blood moons, eclipses, the Revelation 12 sign, meteor strikes, and a twin solar system. It would also include crop loss, famine, animal and fish deaths, droughts, economic hardship, rioting and civil unrest, tsunamis, wars and rumors of wars, death, efforts to divide Israel, lawlessness, and all manner of wickedness that man can think of. There's probably more, but that is the gist of it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these headlines. Some of these, I'll read first, you may not have heard much because there are bigger things in the news like Tropical Storm Alberto. But this one, it's titled Experts Raise Concerns After Finding Evidence of Meth-Addicted Fish. Active pharmaceutical ingredients are found in waterways all over the globe. So, talk about needing water, and you got meth-addicted fish. I mean, and it's also one more way to lose our wildlife is these pharmaceutical drugs that get into the waterways, like when they dump pills, or maybe a car was submerged and they had pills in there, or maybe you went to the bathroom and it goes through the sewer system. But it's all over the world. Meth addicted fish. Yep. Another one. This one is titled West Coast at Risk of 9 Magnitude Megaquake Lasting 5 Minutes Due to a Major Fault. So some Western states could soon see, they're saying could see a megaquake due to an underwater fault line along the West Coast. Now, that usually when you have a fault line, you have volcanoes on either side of these fault lines. Tectonics, And near there, we have a lot of volcanoes, California, Oregon, and a couple in particular, one in particular, really, Mount St. Helens in Washington. And in the news, Mount St. Helens, what did they say? Let me go to my notes super fast. Okay. They say that Mount St. Helens is recharging. And according to Google, recharge events can occur when magma enters this upper reservoir, and increases stresses that lead to earthquakes. Mount St. Helens has been having a lot of quakes, and where these quakes are is in the center where it erupted last time. A couple on the side once in a while, but most of them are swarming in the middle of the Mount St. Helens caldera. So recharging is actually a term, and that means that the magma infill has risen. And I looked on that map and it said other occurrence on one of those little spots, and I'm like, it's emitting gases. Okay. Hello, Adrian. Chris Cox, new song. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Okay, so one of the visions that I'd had, if some of you might remember, because I did a video or 5 about this, I'm sure, is that God had shown me, Jesus had shown me Mount St. Helens. I was right at the top. I'd never seen it. I'd never been in Washington. And at first, I didn't know what volcano I was standing on top of, but I found out. And so I knew something was going on with Mount St. Helens. And so right now, that is something we knew was going to happen, that all these volcanoes would start waking up. And Mount St. Helens, it just erupted around 40-something years ago, and it's ready to pop again. It could be months, could be a couple of years, but it looks like this thing is preparing to do what it did last time. And they're saying that the trees and forestry is just starting to come back. Sorry. Okay. All right. Please do share these videos. That helps me a lot. Next one. Texas asks people to avoid using their cars. And in addition, I've noticed that some counties around here have been talking about limiting water use for irrigation for your gardens or whatever, and that you can only do it on certain days now. So there's some kind of water shortage thing happening, but they're also asking Texans to avoid using your cars. It says to use different modes of transportation other than their cars on Friday as ozone pollution in the state reached concerning levels. The Texas, okay, so this was last Friday, not today. But this is where we're getting. And the ozone was bad because there were, if I'm not mistaken, Mexican wildfires blowing at the time our way. But in addition to here, they're saying Florida City is suffering drinking water shortages. West Palm Beach is now pumping water from underground wells to help with its declining drinking water supply. Now, they've been getting a lot of rain, so maybe that'll help. But drinking water is not necessarily the same thing as flooding water. Flood water is very dirty. It needs to be filtered and all that. Next title, volcanic eruption sparks slew of closures in national park. An eruption at Hawaii's Kilauea volcano has led to a slew of closures within Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. See, these volcanoes are going crazy. Another one, scientists sound alarm. Growing threat looms over coastal destination. Preparations have been too sluggish. According to projections from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Long Island, home of the Hamptons, is at significant risk of being completely underwater by the end of this century. Ocean levels along United States coastlines, and I had talked to y'all about this over the years. I said this was coming, that there would be migration from coastal areas when things started getting really bad, and that point is starting to hit us now. They're saying that the ocean levels are rising. Yeah, look at all the glaciers breaking off, and as they move, they keep melting and they keep adding, and it's a lot of huge glaciers breaking off. Okay, so with even just a few inches of sea level rise, it can equal devastating weather, devastating impacts on coastlines over and over and over again. All right. And then there was the giant hailstones in Texas. That might have been a record. Okay. There's more. Don't worry. Hello, Nancy G. God love you too. All righty. Okay, so now what we're facing, and this is very unusual, is yes, the United States is experiencing a heat wave, but this time it's not in the usual space that it's usually, and usually it's sitting right above Houston, around Louisiana, Houston area, Dallas. It's in the upper middle east of the United States this time. And there's a talk about the tilt and how the equator would be moving north. However, because we're in a wobble and the tilt wouldn't be just up and down, it could be like this. See what I mean? The tilt, the wobble. Anyway, so I wonder if that has something to do with where the hot spot is right now, that global, that heat dome. And what's terrible about this is it can probably be equated to the opposite of what happened in Texas for the blizzard. I know it happened in other states, but that blizzard that happened a few years back, I remember saying if the United States in the upper states had a heat wave that usually has snow, I wouldn't be laughing. I'd be praying for you because I know you're not equipped with air conditioners to handle this kind of weather. You've probably never experienced heat like this in your life. That would equal potentially lots of lives lost. So it's important that you learn how to keep yourself cool. Now, ice packs, frozen water bottles, water bottles, you just put them in your freezer. And I'm telling you, it's awesome. Okay. It's a lifesaver. Believe me, a literal lifesaver. We've got also a little plastic $10 kiddie pool from the dollar store. And if it gets really bad, sometimes our air, when it worked right, even in the hottest part of the day, could never keep up with the sun and the heat that we were experiencing, that our home would become an oven. The air conditioners all over the place were straining everybody's, right? So what we do is we go outside under a canopy, we have a fan, and we put our feet in that pool. And in that pool is cubes of ice. People can sit around with their chairs and just put their feet in there, and it's wonderful. Okay, so you want to talk about how to handle that heat. Yes, fans, shade, ice. That'll, yeah, okay, not kidding. And when you walk outside, use an umbrella, because that's real popular around here too. Around August, people start using umbrellas. Parasols might come back in style. I'm not kidding you. Hello, Argo, the God who sees. God bless you. Everybody's coming in. Awesome. Okay, so what makes this U.S. heat wave so dangerous? The heat wave sending temperatures soaring well into the 90s to around 100 degrees Fahrenheit from the Midwest to the Northeast is a slow motion disaster that gets progressively more harmful each day. The heat wave is a public health threat as well as an economic blow. That's because of its large footprint, the fact that it is affecting areas unaccustomed to extreme heat and is an early season event. See, last May, it was hot, too hot. That was really early for us to be experiencing temperatures that feel like 107 degrees. Okay. Threat level. 3 aspects of this heat wave make it particularly dangerous. First is the timing. This heat is rare for this time of year. 2, the fact that it is the season's first extreme heat wave. This heightens the risk to those without access to cooling, which we did talk about. Lastly, there's the duration. Now, when it comes to the heat, it's not just, they will say, especially the elderly, but when it comes to heat, anybody of any age is at risk, seriously at risk. It doesn't matter if you're 15, 25, 35, Hulk Hogan at his best days, you are at risk of dying in this kind of heat. You are. Okay, lastly, there's the duration. Long-lasting events are more likely to lead to infrastructure malfunctions, from power outages to the melting of airport tarmacs. That happened here. It sure did. And the long lasting, like we had last year, 45 consecutive days of temperatures over 100. Temperatures at night were around 85 degrees. And that's not the feels like. It was just, you couldn't lay in your bed. It was just so hot, even with the AC on, because the house never cooled off. Never. So after 45 days of those temperatures, yeah, I was starting to die. I did not feel good. When we finally started getting temperatures last year under 100 degrees, we were thrilled. Now, remember, this is just the early part. Now, also, this is the first day of summer now. It's official. And keep in mind, this happened before the start of summer. In India, it's been hitting 100. Yes, and we are about to get to that, as a matter of fact. This summer heat wave has not just been affecting America, like you said. Hundreds are dying in India, young and old. And they're saying hundreds. And it was hotter than last year. But this year, it seems like it's worse. Saudi Arabia, hundreds have died on a pilgrimage to a mosque. France is also experiencing a heat wave ahead of the Olympics. And then we've had 125 killed in Mexico. Then on top of that, there is I don't know if it's still there, it probably is, a nationwide power outage in Ecuador, where 17 million people have been affected. That's right. So we got Mount St. Helens, summer heat wave all over the world, affecting the world. U.S. summer heat wave hotspots made worse with power outages. Okay, and wildfires continue to grow in California and in New Mexico. In the meantime, the cost of necessities are too high and the quality is low. We've started rationing in my house because we can't afford the groceries anymore. And we're using the battery and the solar panels to charge the battery because we have so many storms and power outages, and it's down to like 17%. But used to, when I would charge it, I might get like 30 something, 40 most of the time. First thing in the morning, the last few days, it's as soon as I plug it in, morning sun, evening sun, it's at 65, 70 watts. I'm taking in. The sun is really intense. So the canopy I have for outside, the top of the canopy, it reflects the UV light back, which is critical. Anything you can have to reflect that sunlight back into the atmosphere, use it. You know, those things for your car. I mean, it's getting hot enough to make biscuits in the car. And I've been threatening my daughter. I'm like, I'm going to put a pan of biscuits in your car on your next off day if it's not raining. She's like, well, it won't work. I think it will. I think if I put it in front of that silver reflector on the dashboard, but behind the glass, I bet they'll not only rise and cook, but they will toast. I'm going to find out. Okay, but that's anyway, the whole thing is the intensity of the sun. It's strong. Okay. Now Russia, we know is in Cuba, and there's been a lot of news about that. That is not good. That's like checkmate. Right? Need I say more? For everyone in the past, they're probably not even here right now, ever told me, oh no, Red Dawn will never happen in America. I said, look, I've seen it. I've had visions. Somebody's gonna make Russia mad enough one day. And I always said that in my videos too. I said, I wonder what's gonna make Putin so mad that he's going to do this to us with all his friends. But it's happening now. And so is Mount St. Helens. Just like I said, it's all starting to come together, right? Yes, yes, yes. I mentioned that pilgrimage. Thank you, the God who sees. Yes, do hit those likes, share the videos. That helps me out a lot. We are not done yet. We are not done yet. So there's no telling how long Russia will take before this actually happens or what the deciding factor will be. But definitely they are putting their pieces in place, just like on a chessboard. Okay. And with these higher ups, these elites, one thing I know for sure, everything they do in their head is on a chessboard. They don't play checkers. No, 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 no. These people are very, very intelligent, and they are trained to think a certain way, like a chess player. Okay. It's very intense, and they are always in it to win. Okay. All right. And they'll use strategies, and it's a form of war. All right. Now, one other thing that we needed to talk about for sure was that there has been news of a white buffalo calf being born. And there was, it's an American Indian, Lakota Indian prophecy for sure about, it was a lady in spirit form said that she was coming back in the last days and that they would know it by the birth of a white calf. And that as it grew, its coat would change colors from white to yellow to red to black and then to white again, right? They're saying that happened, yes, but believe it or not, it happened in 2000 also. And the coat actually did change. It was in Wisconsin. It was a female cow, buffalo, named Miracle. So, and what happened right after that? A year later, I'm pretty sure she was born in 2000, but a year later, 9/11 happened. So for anybody to say, okay, this is coming true, well, it kind of already has been coming true. A lot of people came to see that buffalo. In fact, I went ahead and hopped a plane to go see that buffalo. Would you believe the farmer was actually laughing at me and everybody who'd come to see it? And I'm like, you've literally got a piece of prophecy on your farm and you think everybody's nuts, but you have it. They had these things, these Indians had tied these things to the fence. And anyway, and I think tobacco, because it had something to do with tobacco. Anyway, the prophecy, and they had things tied to the fence for this buffalo. So yes, while a lot of things are happening, I just wanted to let you know to be a little bit careful, about this buffalo calf thing, because It's not just now coming true, meaning this might mean something, but I'm telling you, it started 20, 40 years ago. Hello, Dan and Leon. Okay. All right. All right. So when we're looking at end times events, the economic hardship is there, the wickedness in high places, the earthquakes, even earthquakes around volcanoes. What did he say? Earthquakes, floods, wars, rumors of war, Russia and Cuba. Okay, that's not going to stop all this war. No. Wars, plural, and rumors of wars, like the rumor of war with Taiwan. That's one I would consider a rumor of war. I'm not so sure they could get Taiwan, but I don't really think that's their intention. I think it's more of a distraction. I could be wrong about that though, but that's my dumb opinion. Okay, so this end time sign, God said that he would scorch the earth this time with heat. And boy, oh boy, if this is what we're starting with, we're in trouble now. I did find out what is going on with my AC because I went ahead and turned it in on position. And of course, nothing happened. Nothing. I went about my day totally forgetting that I had even done that. And then out of nowhere, it came on. I eventually had to turn it off. I'm all excited, freaked out. When I wanted to turn it back on, it did not. So I just left it in the on position. And that's when I realized, and I can't toggle that temperature up and down. It just starts tripping and whatever. And so I know it's the thermostat. I had gotten cooling fans, which were easy on my breaker, but there's a lot to these things that could really be improved. For one, the chamber that you put the water in should be insulated. And it should also be on the front. Okay, because on the back they have the screen for filtering, and it's too easy to put your thumb on there and break that, and having to turn everything around. You've got the power cord there, but the thing should be insulated. And just because it has a big basket, if you've ever been in the South, if you've got a big bowl of water and you put some ice in there, all that's going to do is just melt the ice. It doesn't really cool down the water. What you need is blocks of ice. And what they give you are these things. Now, they're filled with these blue gel, but inside it's just a thin layer. So this thing, you put it in water, it is literally melted in 5 seconds. Doesn't do much to the water. It's just better actually cooling me down than actually using it. So what I do is I put less water. I put frozen bottle water blocks in there, and then I'll put some ice in there too. Oh, it blows nice, but I can't fit an AC in these windows. Now, Paul said that I should probably hire someone to put one in, but then I'd have to make sure that I don't almost burn my house down again, plugging things in, because whatever. So I've got, hopefully this guy, he missed coming over Sunday, but he's saying he'll be coming by this week. So hopefully I'll have an electrician in here to fix the thermostat. Either way, during August, during the hottest part of the day, it's not going to matter. We're going to have to be outside between 3 and 6 o'clock every afternoon because the AC won't catch up. It just won't. We just have to open up the house and let all that hot air out and then wait until the sun goes down so we can finally cool the house down again. But that's just how bad it is. And my neighbor, I convinced her to get a canopy on the other side, and that'll cool both of our houses during the afternoon sun, which, oh my God, the temperatures in these bedrooms are insane. So I want you to be careful, know that if it can melt tires on airplane tarmacs, it can probably melt your tires. And if you have anything like Houston traffic, keep water bottles around, keep things around that will help you in case you're stuck in traffic or something happens where you're out on the road and can't get somewhere to cool down. Okay. Emergencies, plan for all of those. Plan for those power. This is the year to start getting those batteries for these storms, for the power outages because of the heat. Just get yourself prepared, okay? Get those umbrellas. Don't be afraid to use them, even if you're a guy. Use it, all right? Okay, I've got to go. I'm sorry I've been gone so long. I'll come on here as much as I can, but chances are if I live through this summer, I'll probably be coming on a lot more in the fall than I will this summer. This is just a raw time of year. It's very hard. God bless you all that are in it. God bless you all on the coast. Everybody suffering with these wildfires. God bless all of you. This fly is just really trying to get on me. All right. I love you. God bless you. Thank you for being here. I will talk to you soon. Okay.